happened.
You look a little scruffy like me now.
Yeah, I've been letting it grow in. I've been like not giving a shit. So
Yeah.
just kind of letting the hair take over like nature intended. Like
Yes.
I I kind of wonder what would happen if I just completely let my facial hair just take over what it wanted to take over, Like I don't know what would happen.
It's like your face is the Last of Us, right? Like nature's taking over, all this overgrowth
There's just a giraffe like randomly like going
circling
through.
your skull.
Yeah.
Megadads Live is a mature-rated podcast. It's for the Mega Dads, the Mega Moms, but not the Mega Kids. So put on those earmuffs and let's go!
What a day. Nice shirt. Going with the nice white blank canvas.
I had a cool hoodie on, and then I got hot and sweaty because usually when I podcast with you, I get hot and sweaty. And the first thing that I do is I peel off my socks because for some reason when I'm down here in my office, the first thing that gets sweaty is my feet. I don't really know what that's all about, but I can't have sweaty feet in socks. My wife thinks it's weird that I wear socks like period in the house, and typically I don't wear socks in the house, but like when it gets a little cooler, I like to have socks on. So like when
I do socks all the time.
Do you do socks all the time? All socks?
Are you a barefoot person? Like you're just barefoot a lot?
I didn't used to be, but my wife really got me. She converted me, mostly because like she'll sleep barefoot, and then I would sleep with socks on. And she'd be like, "Ugh, no," and I thought she was weird. But then once I started doing it, I don't know. I turned a page. It's kind of like how we watched The Bachelor. And follow me here. My wife, when I met her, she was a huge Bachelor fan. I'm like, that is absolute garbage, trash TV, and I think less of you as a human being now.
Right.
But then I started watching it, and I don't know if it's because of the bonds of our love that I was able to like mind link with her and appreciate The Bachelor. I also now appreciate bare feet.
I don't understand the barefoot thing. It's like, isn't this kind of gross to everyone? Like, isn't it nicer to have like a nice, like a sweater? Like it's a sweater for your foot.
Foot sweater.
Socks on. You put that nice comfy layer on. Everybody knows what we're dealing with here.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like perspiration. There's no like, it'll cover up any like potential odor. It's just like, let's put a nice sock on your feet and just leave those things on there. Instead of just walking around barefoot. There are people who are just barefoot indoors, barefoot in like really open sandals, like all times of the year. I don't understand this.
I think as I get older, and just in general, as I get older, I am a way sweatier person. I sweat all the time, and I don't understand it. It might be because I'm constantly drinking. Like I'm never not drunk.
Right.
But like I wake up in the morning and I'm just sweating. So now that I've discarded the sock, like my feet they can breathe better, right? There's two parts of your body that are unacceptable when they're sweaty. One, it's your feet. There's nothing that's grosser than like peeling off wet, sweaty socks. And two, it's your asshole, right?
I was gonna say your nutsack, but
well, yeah, but your nutsack is neighbors with your asshole. It's just it's the neighborhood. It's the cul-de-sac. It's the testicular cul-de-sac.
Do all parts of the body sweat?
My balls and taint sure do.
Does the tongue sweat?
Ooh. I don't know. I don't know if your tongue has sweat. It's just always wet.
Your ears sweat.
It would be impossible to know because your tongue is always just wet.
Feet are gross.
Feet are disgusting. How are you doing?
I am doing amazing. Best day of my life. So, football came back. I was able to catch a little bit of the initial game. It's so hard to watch though. It's not just like turn on your TV and switch it on the channel. Like I had to do a lot of research to see how I'm going to watch all the NFL games. It's like, well, on Mondays, you can get it in this channel or this channel. Sundays and then morning and then night, you got to go here. Oh, Thursdays, you buy toilet paper from Amazon in bulk. So you get to watch Thursday games. I was just like, oh my God. But it's officially fall basically. And I'm kicking it off, watching WNBA games, watching NFL games, taking in the crisp weather. It's amazing. I'm good. Everyone's put their nasty feet away for the fall. It's great.
It's fall foot weather.
Oh, yuck. Yeah, but I'm doing excellent.
All right, well, let's keep those excellent vibes going with our
Mega Dad's being super positive.
We kick off each episode of Mega Dads Live with our super positive things that are bringing us joy. And Antonio, I have to tell you, I'm so fucking excited because Linkin Park is back in my life.
You fucking took mine. Oh my God.
Let's talk about this together. I'm so excited. I'm not the biggest Linkin Park fan. And in fact, when I came home the other day and I played this song for my wife, she's like, "You like Linkin Park?" Yeah, I fucking like Linkin Park. And they've been, they've been retired ever since Chester passed away. And now they're back with a new lead singer. And they had a live stream concert to kick it off. Yeah, and I listened to this thing, and especially the new track, The Emptiness Machine, is just so good. It's so good. How you feeling about it?
That new track grows on you, because I heard it the first time and I was like, and then the second time I heard it and I'm like, man, this is really good. And then I told my brother about it and we were in his car, and some cars just have like really good like sound systems inside. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He cranked it up and I was just like, whoa, like this is great, like on this sound system that we have in here. So the singer's really good, has a good, like, the harmonics are good, and then it's like the screaming is good, and it's just like it kind of works. And I felt so bad though, because like she was singing for this live YouTube, like, surprise, we're back live, like performing all these very difficult songs back to back, and she was like 80% there, but like nobody can do it like perfect live with all of these really difficult songs. So I think she did great, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the band does, because all of these bands coming out like from like the 90s and 2000s that we love that are coming back, like I want them all to like come back and do something well. So I'm excited. There's like some rumblings about like the singer, like some things in her past, but as far as musically, I think she's really good.
Yeah, I just love that this sound. I like when rock is like in the news, right? I like when rock puts its best foot forward, because so much of everything is just pop, R&B, and all this stuff. And I like that. True. I like that stuff. But like when a rock band comes and puffs their chest a little bit, I love that shit. I love it.
I think that they let the fans who stuck with them in their like fan program or whatever, they let them go to that live show, which I thought was so like cool. Really cool. They're like, oh, you stuck with us basically through like our downtime, and they had like a bunch of fans like posting like photos and stuff or whatever, but it looked amazing. Yeah, very excited.
Good time. All right, let's get to the headlines. We're going to talk about some video game news as we see fit to tell it. Antonio, what's our headline of the day?
Concord is shutting down after 2 weeks. Short-lived. So Sony's latest big exclusive, Concord, launched on August 23rd, and just 11 days later, the publisher announced that the multiplayer shooter is shutting down. So they cut off sales, and they're like, all right, we can't be selling this thing. We're not going to support it anymore. It had like the open, the beta, and it was like underperforming as far as like numbers. This, if you believe the rumors, not even the rumors, if you believe the speculation, because everybody's like, why, right? What does this mean that a game is going to bomb so badly that it shuts down so quickly? And they were charging, I think, $40 for the game instead of having it be a free to play, which these type of like hero shooters or arena shooters, they have a lot of them are free to play. So you're looking at it's not a clone, but it's in this very much the same realm as other shooters like this that are just
Overwatch
more easy.
like.
Yeah, they're easily accessible. So like Valorant and Overwatch. Was the real classic one from Valve? Counter-Strike.
Fortress.
Yeah, stuff like that, where it's just like kind of like a Twitch shooter. So it's a crowded market for arena shooters. So people think that it was doomed because of the monetization model that they had. They're like, hey, let's charge money for this one. We can do that. We're going to put a premium on it. And it's already completely pulled. Was this on your radar at all? It may not have gotten good press with a lot of people. I know you're not really a multiplayer shooter person.
Yeah, this was like, and I put this on Threads. I was like, I had the same reaction that a lot of people had when they saw this game. They showed it off during like a state of play, and it was a huge, cool cinematic with awesome sci-fi characters and everything. And I was like, holy shit, this looks so cool. And then gameplay, and I was like, oh, it's one of these.
Yeah.
And so many people felt like they had the rug pulled out from under them because it's PlayStation, so you're expecting one thing and then it turns out to be a complete another. I could not care less about this game, and apparently I'm not alone.
It's hard because you bring up a really good point about the marketing. It's like, how are they talking about the game prior to release? What impression are you giving people? And you're totally right. I had forgot about that. The way that they initially unveiled it, it's like, this might be a big universe you get into, kind of story heavy, like this is going to be very flashy, and it's just kind of being another shooter. The rug being pulled out is a great way of saying it. Now the interesting part of this is Concord was just in the mix to be part of that, what do they call it, an anthology series where they're doing all the video game vignettes.
Prime Video series.
Yeah, and they have I think it's like, was it Gears, Halo? They had like all sorts of
bunch of stuff.
World of Warcraft. They had all sorts of like different video game vignettes that are coming out in this like short story or this anthology series format or whatever. And it's like Concord was in there. It was expected that this was going to launch, take off, and become a thing. So, Sony backing it, shutting it down so quickly is kind of unprecedented. Usually people get some time to shine,
That's so wild because it's like, from what I understand, this game isn't broken. Right. It's just nobody gives a shit. Like, I've never seen a game delisted because nobody gives a shit.
You know how like Game Pass, it's the effect of it's available to people via the subscription, so I'm just going to try it. With the opposite strategy of just saying we're really going to want people to pay to get in on this, and hopefully the FOMO will spread, and people will want to get in. That barrier to entry alone, I think, does have a lot to do with what's going on here, because if this same game, which is by all accounts just underwhelming, came out on Game Pass, I expect that people would jump in and that it would have like a legit shot. Another one that's not doing well is X Defiant, and supposedly I think that's the Ubisoft back shooter. They were told that they have until the end of the season to turn things around, and that was another fairly generic shooter that came out, but I think that one is free to play. But it's a rough market out there, period. So this is surprising but not surprising, and I think that we've just hit a wall with this. Too many games, at one time competing for the mind share, and you can't have any barriers to entry anymore.
Yeah, there's too much competing for your dollar, and when your whole design of a game is like sustainability, like it needs that player base to continue. And I think there's just really something gross I worry about the fact that they're saying like this Crazy Taxi game is supposed to be like a massively multiplayer experience.
What?
I don't like.
I did not hear that. Wow.
I don't like that a game has to have sustainable audience in order to even be a game, right? Like I remember trying to log into Switch Sports earlier in the summer, and this was before the new update came on, and it was really hard to find somebody to play with. And it's like, well, I guess I cannot play this game because there's nobody online. But even more competitive in this scene, they'll take your whole goddamn game down if there's nobody playing it.
Wow.
It's just gross. I don't like that.
Yeah. Concord failed to crack 1,000 concurrent players on Steam at any one time. So there was nobody playing the game.
At least they're doing the right thing in refunding people, because it's not like people can play this offline, even if they enjoyed it, and just want to play it offline. Like if this whole thing is about playing with people online, there's nothing you can do if there's nobody there.
It was in production for like 6 or 8 years. Can you imagine the crushing feeling of everybody involved when you've worked on something, so much? It, by all accounts, it isn't like, trash. It's just like not amazing. And then it's just gone. You literally have no time. I do think that they will bring it back. There's too much there and too much invested. Yeah. I bet that they just relaunch free to play. I don't see them putting the whole thing in the trash. Like, I don't understand the business decision behind
that would be such a tremendous loss.
Be.
Oh my God.
Like something's gonna happen with this game, so hopefully, who knows, it may have one of those like Cinderella story bounce backs, eventually, when they make some change the monetization, who knows. But yeah, gaming's in a rough state. Concord is like a warning to people about kind of the state of things, like you said. So
watch your ass, Marvel rivals.
Oh my God. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. The Marvel IP will save.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay.
Maybe.
All right. Well, I want to talk about a good game, like a great game. I've been playing just for a couple of days now. I have played the new Astro Bot for PlayStation 5. And to talk about this game, I actually brought in a friend from Console Creatures and from Three Dads and a Console. I brought in my friend Court Lalonde to discuss Astro Bot. Before I throw it to that conversation, just really quick, Antonio, between me and you, everybody else there's nobody here. It's just me and you. This game is a goddamn masterpiece. It is an absolute joy. Do you know when you play a game and it like injects joy directly into your vein? You're just smiling and you just want to keep playing and keep playing and keep playing, and all of a sudden you're like halfway through the game and it's only been like 2 fucking days. That's Astro Bot. So
That's
good.
Awesome.
So I'm going to throw it to that conversation with Court, and we'll be back on the other side to wrap this episode up. So you were given a review code by PlayStation. You have played through this whole game. I'm a peasant, and I just started this game last night. So I wanted to get somebody on the podcast who's actually gone through the paces with this.
Finished it. I'm on the route. I'm en route to the platinum. I just haven't had time, but I'm pretty close.
Give me your overall thoughts, and then we're gonna dive in with a little bit more detail.
Well, so a lot of the games that I play, I let my daughter play, unless it's like some of the games she just can't. But she hasn't stopped playing this game.
Yeah.
And she's a huge Nintendo Mario fan. The controls of this game and the DualSense functionality are unbelievable. Like I really want, like, I want to somehow gush over this game without sounding like, I got paid to do this. Like, trust me, they didn't pay me. Yes, they gave me a code for the game. There was definitely monetary value. But the first game, Astro Bot Rescue Mission, was on VR, and then we got Astro Bot, which came in the PS5, and everybody was like, this is just a throwing game. And that turned out to be, at the time, till this game reached out, the best platformer that was ever on a PlayStation.
Phenomenal. I get frustrated when people talk about that as a demo. I'm like, have you played it?
It's the best platformer until this game on a PlayStation console, and I'm including Crash Bandicoot, all that. Astro Bot was Astro Bot Playroom, unbelievable. Astro's Playroom. Then this came along. This game rivals Mario Odyssey as one of the best platformers of all time. I would say it is in my top 5. There's 4 Mario games, and Astro Bot is in there now. Yeah. Because I can't believe how much I love this game. Like I was talking about the DualSense. They even took more what they did in Playroom and brought more DualSense functionality into this. And it just becomes part of the game that you don't even realize that I was playing a level and I'm like, wait a second, if I move my controller, this actually does something. I'm like, wait, you didn't need to do that, but they just added it for fun. I don't want to give away stuff. I know the game's been out, but there are so many surprises. A lot of people have been saying I wanted PlayStation All-Stars. I didn't. I'm not a Smash Bros. I didn't care for All-Stars, but I really loved all the characters who were in this. They finally gave us, I guess, the magnus opus of PlayStation games. They finally were like, hey, you wanted all these characters back? Well, we did one better. We gave you PlayStation All-Stars, but we turned it into a platformer. And they have hit a home run with this.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, you talk about how they leveraged the technology, and that's something that Team Asobi did with the VR. They managed to craft their games to work with the hardware in a way that is very Nintendo. Like, that's a very Nintendo approach to making a game. And it's phenomenal. Like you said, the Playroom was it's probably why people call it a demo, because it was a real tech demo for that controller. And then this game continues to do that, and it takes it to interesting places. But the other thing is, I was thinking about when I was playing this game, was they've managed to put the PlayStation brand, like the PlayStation brand itself, not their IPs individually, but they've done it in a way that they present it like it's Marvel, right? Like this is very much like what do they call it? Cameo porn, right? Where it's just like, here's all the stuff you love about PlayStation, but it's also interactive, and you get to dive into each of these worlds in one complete package, and it's its own universe. It's like the PlayStation video game universe, and it's outstanding.
Yeah, they do such a great job of doing it as well, because some of these levels are bright or they're dark, or every level looks totally different. And also, like any platformer, any good platformer, as you progress in this game and you go to a different galaxy, and they are galaxies, so I guess it's Astro Bot Galaxy. I guess they couldn't call it that for I don't know what reason. Maybe Mario would have had Nintendo might got a little mad about that. But there's a game that we all love from the PlayStation, and I don't want to give it away, but there's a level, and it is very neon, but the characters are bright and almost like alive, like the background characters and everything about it. Yet you all of a sudden you start playing it, and I'm like, wait a second, is this such and such game? And then you're like unlock, you find the first bot, and you're like, oh my god, it is that game that I love. But it doesn't say right away that it's that game. You just like see like, oh, there's this, there's that. I'm like, huh, okay. They do such a good job of almost doing like an Easter egg hunt until you unlock the first bot on that level, and they're like, oh, this is this theme. And for Back to Future fans, the very beginning of the game, this is not giving anything away because they put it in the trailer. In the trailer, they show him waking up in the desert. Go back at him and listen to the music that they play at the very beginning. It is Back to the Future.
You kidding me?
It is 100%. It's the do-do-do-do. And they changed it just a slight, but as a huge Back to the Future fan, like my favorite. So I was born on October 26, 1979. The movie Back to the Future takes on October 26, 1985. I saw it in 1985 when it first came out, but it takes place on my birthday. Michael J. Fox is Canadian. His favorite hockey player growing up was my dad. There's a lot about this movie, and it's also a perfect movie. But the very beginning,
you must have got chills.
I lost my mind. It was funny. I texted Matt, who I love him to death, but like his pop culture and my pop culture, they never intertwine. He's like, dude, I've never watched Back to the Future. I'm like, oh, I can't even share this moment with you. Yeah, it's he hasn't even watched 89 Batman. Don't even want to get into this.
The other thing that's really interesting is this game is almost like a reboot. It opens exactly the same way as Astro Bot's Rescue Mission. where you're coming in on your little spaceship, and the little green alien guy comes out and breaks your ship apart, and he scatters all your guys.
And you land on a planet in the dirt and the desert, and a robot comes up to you. It's almost like it's Star Wars, but continue.
And and you spend the game going and recollecting all your spaceship parts and rescuing all your robots. So it's very much like
Create a PS5.
It's yeah. I mean, it's very familiar. And I found myself. I agree. I've only played like the first 2 galaxies of this game so far, but I am very much in alignment with you. Where I think I'm like if you forced me to, I could not find a flaw with this game so far. Absolutely love it.
I have a flaw.
Okay.
It's not 2-player.
It's not 2-player, and I guess
That's a flaw. That's
what
a
I'm
flaw to me
leading
because I think it would have been. I gave it a 10.
Yeah.
I think it would have been better than Odyssey if it was 2-player.
Player Astro, I can see. They absolutely could do that.
100%.
My biggest gripe is I can't stop wishing it was VR.
But I think it. Have you? How far have you gotten in it? Have you? Well, so you've put together a part of the PlayStation 5.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
You can't tell me that they didn't have this. And you can. There's VR right there.
Right. It's right there. It's right there.
I think it'll be a patch. Well, you know what? As someone that sold his PSVR 2, yeah, I don't think they will because that's dead.
Yeah.
I am a Sony fan. That thing is dead.
Yeah. It bums me out. It really does, because I told my son to take a break from playing the game today. We came downstairs and I hooked up the old PSVR and he started playing it, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, I remember playing that game and saying to myself, would this work on just a TV? Like, it's a great game, but like so much of the experience is being
100%. It would still, because you play Astro Bot now, it still works.
That's what it is. This game proves that this formula absolutely works.
If I'm Sony, I re-release the VR one as non-VR, and I put it on consoles, and it sells like gangbusters.
So how do you think this game is going to be received? Do you think this is going to be a huge hit for them? I'm not sure, because we had the VR game, which obviously probably wasn't a massive hit because not many people had VR, and then you had the Bacon. So this is really Astro's first attempt to prove himself as like a standalone.
I think it sells 5 million copies.
Yeah.
And that is a success, especially when it's a platformer, especially when the games on the PlayStation are your Ghost of Tsushima, your Last of Us, your Uncharted. Those are the games that, get you your 10 million plus. And Horizon, after a couple years, it never gets it right off the bat. Horizon is actually hilarious. It never hits right off the bat, but when they show the sales over time, it hits there. And then you have your Spider-Mans. But I will say this about this game, as someone who's finished it, there are endless possibilities with this game.
Yeah.
Because the story doesn't matter. Let's be honest here. Okay, the story doesn't matter. Like, when I did my review for it, I wrote it up and I started getting to the story part. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to straight up say the story doesn't matter. Yeah. It is not about the story. It is about the level design. It's about the, those X's and O's and triangle extra levels that are extremely hard for no apparent reason. It is just about having fun again, playing a video game. I think the issue with gaming nowadays is this game should have released on Switch. It should have been on both. The fact that they're letting Lego Horizon be on both.
Yeah.
Astro should be the first game where Sony's like, you know what, this should get released on the Switch.
Do you think Nintendo would allow that?
100%. I don't.
Astro Bot is showing up their main guy with like, look what I got, baby.
Especially when an enemy is a gorilla and the other one.
Yeah.
A little spot on there, but I can't get over. This is the most Nintendo game Sony has ever made. And that's not an insult. That is a extreme compliment from a Nintendo generation kid. It's just way too much fun.
It does the thing that Nintendo does really well with their Mario games, where it introduces something new almost every single level, and it gives it to you, and then it takes it away, and you're like, oh, I want to do that. But then they're like, but here's something else. Oh, okay.
Like I said, I think they did it better. Like, I look at, for me, Super Mario World is the #1 platformer of all time. That's just, for me, to the day I die. Super Mario 3 comes #2. I go Super Mario Odyssey, #3, because I truly think that game is unbelievable. Astro Bot's number 4. Like, that's how much I think this game is that good. And then Super Mario 3D World, I put that. It's either that or Galaxy. I go back and forth because I hate the Wii remote. I think it's a gimmick and it drives me insane. But I think 3D World is highly underrated because that game is amazing.
Yep.
But Astro Bot's up in the top 5 for me. Like, that game is that good.
It's just got this timeless feel, and it's got this ever-present joy where you just catch yourself grinning like an idiot the entire time, especially for folks like you and I, who've been playing. We're very much in that PlayStation. Like, we grew up with it, love it. We're playing it with our kids. Like, the fact that I sat and watched my daughter run around and catch one of the Ape Escape monkeys, I just about teared up, I was like, oh my God, I remember doing that as a kid. And now I'm watching my kid do it. And it's pure joy.
Those Ape Escape monkeys were, they drove me insane.
Well, Court, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I wish you and your family all the best. I hope you don't take too much of a break because we all love what you do so much. Thanks for joining us on Megadads.
Thank you.
Here at Megadads, we are all about celebrating our love of play with our children all year long. And every single fall, we kick off our Extra Life campaign to help families who are a little less fortunate be able to celebrate their love of play with their children. Extra Life is a charity foundation that supports children's hospitals all across the country. And the way that you can help kids is by playing games. Play games, heal kids. Sounds pretty amazing, right? For 11 years, Team Megadads has been doing this work and having fun along the way. And to date, we have raised over $20,000 for Children's Miracle Network hospitals across the country. It has been a joy to do that with you, our Megadads community. And today we're ready to do it all over again by kicking off our 2024 Extra Life campaign. Welcome to Extra Life House Party. It's our goal in 2024 not only to raise the most money that we ever have for Extra Life, but to throw the biggest and most audacious house party on game day that we ever have. Hey kids, what are you doing?
Helping save lives.
We're going to be throwing our doors open not only to you, our live stream audience, but to our friends and family as well, ushering people in and out of Megadad's headquarters to play games all day long in an effort to provide the most support to families in need that we can. Hey guys, what are you doing now?
Helping save lives.
Here's how you can get involved. Starting today, starting right now, our fundraising page is wide open. You can go to extra-life.org/team/Megadads and support as much as you can to any member of the Team Megadads fundraising crew. 100% of your money is going to go to children's hospitals and families in need. Guys, what are you doing now?
Helping save lives.
And not only does your money go to help families in need, to help sick children get the care that they need, but your money is also going to help unlock party perks for our house party day. Now, what's a party perk? Those are things that we're going to be adding to our Extra Life house party to provide a more fun experience for those of us and those of you who are here, but also a more enjoyable viewing experience to those watching us on live stream. We're talking bubble machines. We're talking laser lights. We're talking fog machines, a ball pit for the kid. You even have a hand in selecting the games that we play on game day to make it the best house party we've ever had for Extra Life. Guys, what are you doing?
Helping save lives.
So help us help families by going to extra-life.org/team/Megadads today and pledging your support. And we will see you on November 2nd right here at youtube.com/Megadads for Extra Life House Party. It's going to be a full day of fun and play. And what are we going to be doing, guys?
Helping save lives.
Thanks, Court. Thank you for joining us for Megadads Live. That's a good game, man. It's great.
I'm excited that you're excited and that all the PlayStation fans are eating. That's great.
Just a glob, 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 glob. Well, that sound right there, not the glob, 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 but that's that whistle sound. That means it's the caboose. It's the end of the episode where we give you a recommendation of something that we've been enjoying outside of the world of video games. Antonio, what's up your caboose?
Coming to Megadad's Land is the review for Beetlejuice or Beetlejuice 2. So going down this rabbit hole a little bit, I've re-fallen in love with Michael Keaton, and you have to watch the movie if you have not already, but I know you have. Multiplicity.
Yes.
Multiplicity is a gem of a film, and in going to see Beetlejuice, the sequel, I was just re-falling in love. Just like when this man is on the screen, he steals the show. So it got me thinking about, all these other movies that he's been in. And of course, the best movie of all time, probably, arguably, Multiplicity came up into my mind. So I had to go and watch it.
Where'd you watch it?
I don't know. I have one of those TVs that just lets you like search, and it just
gives
up,
you
like,
all sorts of illegal content,
all the options. So like, you've seen Multiplicity, you love Multiplicity, right?
I got a wallet. I like pizza, Steve. Oh my god, fucking love that movie.
Is that the origin of Paul the Pizza? Is that where you got that? Now that I think about it, oh my god, this is crazy. But yeah, you want to watch the video or the movie Multiplicity. It's from a simpler time when movies were good. So
oh my god,
check it out, or anything with Michael Keaton.
Really, anything with Michael Keaton.
He's a gem of the silver screen.
All right. Well, I've also got a movie recommendation. I've been looking for more indie type movies to watch. I love a good indie film, especially if it's like a kind of a drama comedy. And my wife and I were adding movies to our queue, and we came across, I don't know if you've seen this or not, Peanut Butter Falcon. And this stars Shia LaBeouf and who was the girl that played Madam Web in that really stupid Spider-Man?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Dakota something or another.
Is it Dakota Fanning? No way.
I can't remember her name. My apologies. But this is a great movie. It's very heartwarming. It's very funny. It's very indie. It's all about this guy who's got Down syndrome, and his family passes away, and they put him in a state-run home, and it's against his will, and he escapes. And he comes across this guy who's down on his luck, who's like a shrimper out in Louisiana or something like that. And the two of these guys just go on this adventure across the countryside, and it is just an absolute, it'll melt your heart in a great way. So if you like that kind of movie that's heartwarming and funny, and it just makes you feel good. You know those movies that just make you feel good, like maybe humanity doesn't really suck that bad?
Oh yeah, I hear you.
That's this kind of film. So the Peanut Butter Falcon, it's a great movie. I believe I watched it on Hulu.
Oh.
Either Hulu or Netflix. It's on one of those two.
So Dakota Fanning was the girl from Man on Fire, War of the Worlds.
Oh,
she's now a grown up actress. What you were talking about, we were talking about is Dakota Johnson. She was in Madam Web, that terrible movie with Sydney Sweeney and Isabella Merced. So that is two different Dakotas.
Two different Dakotas.
North Dakota,
movies.
South Dakota.
That's right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Megadads Live. Make sure that you set your calendar for a reminder, because next week it's episode 150. Antonio just about spit out whatever that is he's drinking. I think it's a big bottle of lemon juice or some
Zima.
shit. 150. Can you believe it?
150. We're almost at 151.
Took us a decade to get here, but we got it. And
yes.
We want you to be along for the ride. So make sure you come back here next week for episode 150.